Great. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's garbage day at my house. And the great guys from DBW, they came, they saw, they conquered. And we're ready for another week. And it's a rainy, miserable Thursday, October 30th, year of our Lord 2025. My Cordaro Jeweler's watch says it's 9:07 and change. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because my president is striding like a colossus among world leaders. It's also the place where the brave, like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. We lost them this year, but celebrate them today thanks to John. Francis Ponce Serace, Mayfield, Andy Simonik, Scott Township, Richard Andruzzi, Trescott. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible, amazing, irreplaceable founding fathers, that government is not, shall not be, cannot be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, but is nothing more than a necessary evil we require to organize and protect society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It was not something that could be parceled out to groups. It was not something that could be controlled by government or government officials. Our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and yes, freedom of the press. It doesn't matter if they abuse that. It doesn't matter if they lie. It doesn't matter if they're in the tank for the left. We know better, and they're free to continue. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, we gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you in a world where the Democrat Party and the left and the establishment have gone insane. Truly insane. So illegal immigration hit home in my hometown, but it's not where I live now, of Dunmore yesterday. So a guy at a local restaurant was taken by the feds, the ICE, or whomever. Well, you got to remember in certain areas there aren't enough ICE agents, so different federal agents will come aboard and participate in an operation. Now that, to me, that's what they do. So was it ICE specifically? Was it all ICE agents? That we don't know. But they took him out of the restaurant where he was working, and our mayor, I want to find the exact words that he used. He was outraged. He was disgusted. And I don't understand it. Mayor Max Conway of Dunmore says, "I'm disgusted by what I'm hearing about ICE in Dunmore this morning. I'm on the phone trying to get real answers right now. This is not something we'll accept here in Dunmore." And I responded. I'm not usually on Facebook. But this was brought to my attention by somebody, and I read it, and I got outraged. I got disgusted. I said, so you were saying that the presence of duly appointed and properly trained federal law enforcement in my hometown is a problem. And you are disgusted without even knowing why they are there and who they are protecting us and the people of Dunmore from. I hope you understand how ridiculous you sound. Now, there was a lot of sentiment. Well, you know, it's a shame. And apparently the guy has he's got a child in the Dunmore schools. And of course, an arrest is traumatic. I'm trying to find out, though. I'm just mystified as to what was done wrong. And I'll listen to you if you have something to say about it. 570-883-0098 to call or to text. 883-0098. I'm trying to figure out what would bring the disgust and how it's not something that we'll accept here in Dunmore. Now, I've got lots of information and speculation as to what that there was some kind of underlying crime by this man. He was apparently a dishwasher at the restaurant, but there's no proof of that. Zero proof. What I do, and I don't know it, what I'm told reliably, however, is that he missed an immigration hearing. Now, remember not too long ago, up in the North Pocono area, there was an illegal alien who had a couple of restaurants. He'd been in town for years. And he had also ignored notices to come for a hearing and had done nothing over, I guess, a decade or more to handle his immigration issues. And they finally came and picked him up. And people were understandably upset. The question, however, is, and the same here, the same situation here. You could be understandably upset. But how could you be upset at the ICE agents who are enforcing the law? And I have no idea if this guy was one of the 10 to 20 million that scumbag Biden let in the country illegally under a open borders policy. We don't care what the consequences are to American workers' wages, and American workers or American citizens who are victims of illegal immigrant crime. We don't care. Whether it's fentanyl, we don't care. Oh, by the way, how did I even forget? Okay, I didn't forget. I talked about the DPW. And by the way, if you see DPW guy today's my garbage day, but I'll ask you to just say thank you and leave it at that. You don't have to go any further. But the mayor of Dunmore is disgusted by what he's hearing about ICE in Dunmore this morning, as if they can't go there to enforce federal law. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And again, I could understand why you'd be upset. Hey, he's a good guy, whatever the circumstances are. He's a good guy. He's a pretty solid character. I've said on this show three things that are important. Number one, we need, not we want, but we should want because we need it. We need immigration of substance. Like at least 1 million a year. It enriches the culture. by the way, if they mix in with our society, if they assimilate, and I would put a lot of resources into legal immigration so that it can continue. Unfortunately, because of scumbag Biden administration, we've got unvetted illegals all over the place who are sometimes eliminated one at a time. Somebody texted in, and this is also accurate. Well, then I guess the Dunmore police are unacceptable also every time they stop a drunk driver who has children because they're separating families. By the way, I don't know that they're separating this man from his daughter, who's in Dunmore School. Anyways, so number one, we need legal immigration. We need legal immigration of substance. And it is vital to the future of the country. That's what I believe. Number two, the illegals who came here, by and large, it could be 95%, maybe more, maybe even a higher percentage, are good people who just want a better life for themselves and their families. Okay. Understood. And by the way, the effort they made to get here, in some cases, was extraordinary. The risks they took, the whole bit. Very few of us in our lives will have the necessity or deem it necessary to travel thousands of miles on foot, sometimes, whatever, caravan, you name it. These are good people by and large. Now, mass illegal immigration, no one with anything more than a pea brain would know that it's bad. What the Biden administration did, what the Democrat Party believes, is horrible. It's disgusting. That's disgusting. Not ICE agents enforcing the law. That is disgusting. What the Biden administration did was disgusting. And it was an attempt to destroy the country and its culture. A lot of people had other reasons, like cheap labor, you name it. But the base of it was, and the funding came from people who wanted to destroy the country and its culture, period. So, we've got necessary legal immigration of substance, not just, we're going to let 500,000 a year. It would be substantially more. And they've got to be done right. They've got to learn about America. They've got to learn what it is. And this young man may have known what it was. He could have been grateful to the country. But when you're an illegal immigrant and you have a hearing, you go to the hearing. There's probably dozens of people listening right now who missed hearings, and the cops came and picked them up. So I'm trying to understand that side of the argument. I want to understand it. And again, I completely get why someone would be upset. The business owner, if he didn't know he was illegal, or they didn't know, they every right to be upset. But the issue is implicating and implying that the people who enforce the law were wrong for doing it and are disgusting for enforcing the law. That's just left-wing talking points. And so I'm seldom compelled to reply. So we've got sympathy for this person, sympathy for his daughter. It's sad that it had to happen. I don't know when he came into this country. Did he come into the disgusting Biden policy? Did he come in before? I have no idea yet. We will find out. But to shoot off when you don't know anything about it, it may turn out he's not even an illegal immigrant. I don't know. Police make arrests all the time. They have the right to make arrests. It keeps society safe and sane. So when do we make the exception? And how many times do we make the exception? And when do we not enforce the law? I'm not understanding. I really don't. And by the way, a lot of people texting in saying that we don't want to be supporting them financially. Well, I don't think you were supporting this guy financially. He was working. And I got to tell you, I don't vet the landscapers over the years that have, that I've used. I don't vet who works for them. But what I will tell you is if they were illegal or legal, man, they were great people. You see people on roofs. You see people in landscaping. You see people in kitchens. They work. These are good people. Well, a good person made a mistake here. He didn't go to his hearing. And warrants get issued when you don't get to hearings. And at some point, authorities will act upon it. That's not disgusting. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it has to be. Bob, LTS, somebody texts in, my brother-in-law has been in France for about 10 years now on a visa. He doesn't miss an appointment to renew. I guarantee that if he missed an appointment, he'd be sent back home, says Slick. So if you don't follow the process, I heard people, I saw people commenting on Facebook that it's not a crime to cross the border illegally, to be in the country illegally. Yes, it is. I mean, come on. That's what I'm saying. They reduce it to idiocy, and then now what do you talk about? Well, it's not even a crime. Well, how can I have an intelligent discussion with you about this issue? And Mayor Max Conway, how do I have an intelligent discussion with you when you said you're disgusted and that it's unacceptable in Dunmore for federal law enforcement to enforce federal law? How do you have a discussion of any level of intelligence on that issue with Mayor Max Conway? I like him. Nice guy. Great family. All that. Done a decent job as mayor. How do you have that discussion then? Now, the true reaction is, that's a shame. Man, I wish he didn't miss his hearing. That's a true response. I feel bad for the guy. And then we're good. Okay. Now let's let the system work its way out for this particular guy. He's not a victim. And because we feel sorry for him and his daughter, where does that take us? Just as the listener texted in. If you drunk drive, if you drive with a suspended license, you go to jail. And we feel bad about it. So I'm just not getting the point, guys. If somebody has this, somebody says, I should not go after illegal criminals waiting outside of schools. They should concentrate on gangs and drug pushers. Well, what if the gangs and the drug pushers are hanging outside the schools? Now what? Now what do we do? Oh, let them go? I'm not understanding this argument. These aren't goons. These aren't buffoons. These are well-trained law enforcement officers. I don't get it. Somebody texted in, according to Dunmore Mayor, warrants for not showing up to court dates are disgustingly wrong. Let's all try not showing up to court in Dunmore and see how it goes. And by the way, that doesn't diminish it. I'm sorry for him. A friend of mine texted me. He said, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I said, I didn't even know he didn't even say what he was referencing. I said, I doubt it, but I'm sure you'll tell me what I should be ashamed of. About saying that the presence of duly appointed and properly trained federal law enforcement in my hometown is a problem. And you are disgusted, Mayor, without even knowing why they are there and who they are protecting us and the people of Dunmore from. And I would add, and what law they are enforcing. I hope you understand how ridiculous you sound. That's the response. And anybody who texted in, well, what a shame, it's sad, he's got to... All of that is true. All of that is fair comment. But to be outraged at Donald Trump or outraged at law enforcement for doing what they're supposed to do, and I'll ask you, if you're outraged, Mayor Max Conway or anybody else, what did you have to say about the open border under disgusting Joe Biden and the sickening sycophants in his administration when they allowed it to happen and lied about it too, by the way? Lied about it continually. What do you have to say about that? And then you voted for Kamala Harris. Oh, my word. All right, we got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Just keeping it real. Common sense. We'll be back. Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by our friend John Basiliga and his great companies, including, as we head into the weekend, Basiliga Hospitality. Remember, they host private events at all of these facilities. Bar restaurants, yep, they got them. Old Brook Inn, 307, Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. And then the Queen City Tavern in that Queen City of Oliphant, the main drag. Fine dining, yeah, we got that too. Modern take, you think you're in Manhattan and beyond, a Terra 519 downtown Scranton. Then for old world greatness, the Stegmeyer Mansion, the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion on South Franklin Street in Wilkes-Barre. And Thursday night, no cover charge. It's Sergei's, the nightclub. Great stuff. Our veteran this hour, Francis Ponce Ceres. He was 94. He was from Mayfield. He was a resident of the Gino Murley Veterans Center. His wife of 52 years was Dolores Dench Ceres. He was a U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant during the Korean War. He was a senior aircraft mechanic, a dedicated family employee of the Klaus Beverage in Carbondale. Member of Christ the King Parish, 70-year member of the American Legion Post 610. 50-year member of the Whitmore Hose Company, Lakeland School Board Director of Pioneer Hunting Club. And he was a Teamster. Loving husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather. We lost him October 25th. He was an inspiration to all and will be deeply missed. In addition to his wife, surviving are his son, 2 daughters, 11 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and many other family members. Francis Ponce Ceres, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, cloudy with rain, heavy at times, although I saw clearing skies when I came in. Between 1 and 2 inches of rain possible, high 57, 52 outside the studios as I speak. Tonight, clouds with rain tapering off, 47. Halloween, Friday. I don't do kids go Halloweening, or is it all organized now? I don't know. Cloudy and windy with a chance of showers, 50 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, 53. Sunday, partly sunny, 55 degrees. Well, in the studio, ladies, take a seat. You can pull up a chair. You look nervous and anxious here. We talked to them, was it last week, Angela? Last week. Well, the United Way of Lackawanna County, which is also Pike and Wayne, they're always doing something great. They really are the basis of so many amazing efforts in Northeast Pennsylvania. They provide the funding. They provide the expertise. They determine who's good, who's bad. I was on the allocation committee many years ago. And I don't mean who's bad, but who's worthy, who's not when allocating the money. So we've got Angela Bassani. She's the president and CEO of that great organization, and she's replaced the great Gary Drapek. So big shoes to fill, but all reports are, Angela, you're doing a great job, and I love that. And then Dylan Colarossi Lucas, campaign chair. This is the United Way of Lackawanna, Wayne, and Pike counties. And you guys have a special effort that you're undertaking, which is starting this weekend. Am I right? Go ahead.
We are going to be doing a celebrity barista event next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are teaming up with Bailey's in downtown Scranton, so their new location. And we have Scranton Fire coming in on Monday.
Neat.
Penn Ambulance is coming in on Wednesday, and Scranton PD is coming in on Friday. And they're all competing against each other to get the most tips. So we, 100% of tips and beverage sales, thank you,
He's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
Yep.
He has been such a great support to this, and we are so grateful. So 100% of tips and beverage sales coming back to the United Way, and then the winner gets $500 towards their nonprofit of choice.
How neat.
Yeah.
That's really neat. So, how did you put this all together? Who did, Angela Bassani? Who put this together? I mean, the firemen, they work long shifts. I mean, it's not easy.
Well, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah.
Dylan did a lot of that work.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, so my husband is a volunteer firefighter with Clark Summit Fire. So first responders are huge. Oh, and my brother, I have to say that as well. Both of them are volunteer firefighters. So first responders are huge in my heart. So when Ange had come up with the idea of doing a celebrity barista, I said, well, why don't we get the first responders involved?
Yeah.
It'd be great because we both have the same mission. We're both there to serve and protect our communities.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to my cousin who is a Scranton firefighter, and then the ball just kept rolling after that.
That's neat. I think it's great. So all of these groups will be on Monday, Wednesday, and what other day? Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. They'll all be at Bailey's downtown. What's the address?
400
Wyoming Avenue. It's a new deal on Wyoming Avenue. Yeah.
In the Guild. We're the Guild.
Oh, in the Guild.
Yeah, it's the coffee shop right next to
Why did I was thinking it was further down, but okay.
Yep.
Oh,
So
neat.
Nice big parking lot ready for lots of people.
Yeah. How about that? United Way, Angela Bassani, you're undergoing your capital campaign as we speak, right?
Yes.
How is that coming along? Tell us what people could do or how they could participate.
Yeah, so we're in our big fundraising piece of the year, and people can participate by donating. It's really easy. If you want to go donate online, you certainly can. You can donate through the barista, the celebrity barista. If you want to tip your favorite team, you can do so virtually online as well. This way they see that support coming in for them if you're not able to make it in person. So donating is a huge piece of what we need because we're trying to raise $3.37 million for the community.
Wow.
And, we're making our way there. So many people step up in this community to help one another. They really rally around each other. That's the amazing thing about Northeast Pennsylvania. So we're committed to reaching our goal, and we're pretty sure we're going to get there.
Angela, when you approaching it from United Way perspective, even when times are good, even when most people are employed, there is just a ton of need of all kinds, by the way, for whether it's special needs kids, and that's you run the gamut and support the gamut of organizations in Northeast PA.
Right. Think about things in your life that happen unexpectedly that you would never think. Like you wake up and you.
Oh, I could think of some things. And my girlfriend wants me to wear a prison jumpsuit for Halloween. So I'm like, really? Anyway, go ahead.
Let's do that. But you wake up and you've lost your vision, right?
Yeah.
Your whole life changes, and how do you get yourself on track to still thrive in your life and still enjoy your life? So you have an agency like Lackawanna Appliance Association who steps in and they provide that network that you need to get your life on track. Or you have a child who is disabled, right? And you need extra help and support to make sure that they thrive and your whole family continues to thrive.
Yeah.
So you have places like UCP and the ARC that step in for that. Or you find yourself in a situation where you need WRC for a domestic violence situation and getting a family back to where they need to be, where they're safe. So it really does run the gamut. And sometimes it's not just a daily need. It's something happened in your life that you did not expect at all to happen.
And it doesn't go away even in good times. It's exaggerated and grows in bad times.
Right.
And we're been in sort of an in-between area. Well, in northeastern Pennsylvania for decades. We're in this in-between. The needs just don't go away, and they seem to be growing. Am I right on that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Right now, especially food, I think will be a big issue in the next few weeks for families and children and senior citizens.
Yeah. We've got Pennsylvania without a budget.
Yes.
We've got a federal budget shutdown. And all of those have to be dealt with, and that's what United Way is there for. And do you look at yourselves as in United Way as your mission as supporting all of these organizations, but also doing some of the work yourselves?
Absolutely. I would say we're a doer and we're also a convener and a supporter. We want to make sure the nonprofit web that's out there is as strong as it can be. So we're providing financial support, but we also want to make sure we're bringing them together to make sure we're all working cohesively to lift our community, right? To really address needs in an effective and efficient manner. And then we're doing things ourselves. We have programs that we do in-house for the community. So we're all across the board, up to something.
Angela Bassani, President and CEO of United Way of Lackawanna, Wayne, and Pike Counties. Dylan Colarossi Lucas, Campaign Chair for this year, are my guests. We're going to take a break, ladies. We'll come back and we'll repeat what we're talking about, which is next week's events. After this, it's the Bob Cordaro Show on WILK. My Bacardo Jewelers watch says it's 9:47 and change. We'll be back. We had to play some of that anyway. Murph tells us on this date, 1961, Ray Charles had the number one R&B hit with that great song, Hit the Road Jack. Bob Cordaro back on WILK. I'm joined in the studio, and under protest, I might add. Brian Hughes had them down here for his Saturday show, which is Saturday at what time? I listen to it, but I always catch it. I think it's. I'll ask him.
Yeah.
We got to publicize it. But you'll be on with Brian Hughes tomorrow. And Angela Bassani, she's the president and CEO of United Way of Lackawanna, Wayne, Pike Counties. And then Dylan Colarossi Lucas, campaign chairman. And next week is a big part of your event. We're in the middle of the total roughly $3.5 million fundraising drive. But next week is when something interesting and fun is happening. Dylan, talk about it.
Yes, so next week we are doing a celebrity barista with Scranton firefighters, Penn Ambulance, and the Scranton PD. So next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. at the new Bailey's location in downtown Scranton. 100% of tips and beverage sales, thank you, Larry Nicholas, will be coming back to the United Ways campaign. And then whoever wins, so these guys are going up against each other for bragging rights and a $500 donation towards the nonprofit of their choice.
And that is on Wyoming and Mulberry.
Yes.
The old Guild building. For old fogies like me, that's what we know it as.
The old Guild.
We'll know it forever. We still call friends of ours by their maiden names to identify them. So that's an old guy thing. Well, this is great stuff. How far, Angela Bassani, are we? And when does the overall fundraising end?
So we technically fundraise all year, but this is our big ramping up time because we do so much with employee campaigns. So we're running those campaigns now throughout different corporations in the area. This way, as of January 1st, they'll start withholding from payroll deductions for the next year that are donated to United Way. So this is our big time, and we go up until November 20th, which is when we have our celebration dinner.
Neat. And
we'll announce where we think we're going to end up.
Well, I've been bribed, just so everyone here knows. They brought in Krispy Kreme. Now, it's not as sweet as I like it, but it's pretty good. Iced coffee, Krispy Kreme, and then, what is it, a dozen donuts? Are they all raspberry?
They are.
Was this a guess?
No, your son, Michael. He
I mean,
we have an
I don't, but here's the problem. I may eat them all and leave here sick.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Sorry.
It's Halloween.
Calories don't count this week. They don't count this week.
I said I'm a 195-pound man trapped in a 235-pound body. So.
I like it.
We're just here to support the cause.
And now a 240-pound body. Right. Well, Angela Bassani, Dylan Colarossi Lucas, thank you very much. United Way of Lackawanna, Wayne, and Pike counties next week. At the Guild Building, Wyoming, and Mulberry Street, Bailey's, the new hotspot. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 to 10:30. Big deal. Fun. A great different idea. Thank you for thinking of it, Dylan. It's good stuff.
Yeah, we're very, very excited. So please come out and support us. Support your local first responders. They do everything to keep you safe. So come out and help them win.
Amen. Amen. And you're from a first responders family.
I am. My brother and my husband are both volunteer firefighters.
And we need them more than ever.
Yes, we do.
Well, my Bacardi Jewelers watch tells me it's 10. That means you guys have to go. I have to go. Your friend Brian Hughes has to do the news. And then we'll be back United Way next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 to 10:30 at Bailey's in the old Guild building, downtown Scranton. We'll be back. I'm going into a sugar coma here. But great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jewelers watch says it's 10:06 a.m. and change here in the great Northeast. This beautiful but rainy Thursday, October 30th, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with help of our man, John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we salute today and celebrate thanks to John, like Francis, Ponce, Serace, Mayfield, Andy Simonik, Scott Township, and Richard Andruzzi, Trescow. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, and promising you that for the balance of this morning, our commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you. In a world where, man, the entire Democrat Party, well, not the entire, the leadership of the Democrat Party and the establishment and the global elite have gone insane in their own self-interest. So, yeah, they an embarrassment of riches. Angela Bassani, the president and CEO of United Way of Lackawanna and Wayne and Pike counties, and Dylan Colarossi Lucas, the campaign chair for their fundraising efforts and the great event they're having. I won't be able to attend it because it's 7:30 to 10:30 every day. Well, Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, inside the old Guild building, which is the corner of Wyoming and Mulberry Street. And they have great parking. And this Bailey's is an outstanding place and run by Larry Nicholas, who you know from Constantino's. So, top shelf. And the firemen, the ambulance guys, the EAMTs, and the cops are going to be there trying to outdo each other. Great. That's a great idea. Great event. Well, what we do here each week, it's pretty great as well. And we missed them the last 2 weeks. So I've got, I don't know, I don't have the DTs because I've had no weekend warrior for a couple weeks. But he is back, bigger and better than ever. Our man, Sid Hallinan. How are you, Sid?
Good, Bobby. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Well, good to have you back. We missed you. We got I don't know, the college and the college game in particular, I don't know what to predict anymore.
No, Bob, it's changing week to week. Again, the portal changed a lot. The NIL money changed a lot. College football this year is more balanced than it's ever been from 1 to 15. It's going to be interesting going down the stretch, but yeah, it has changed, and it's you don't know what to make of it week after week. You're 100% correct.
Man. All right. What do you see in terms of college this weekend? What games are you looking at?
There's only one game I'm really interested in, Bob, and that's Vanderbilt at Texas. Vandy is the flavor of the month right now. It's great to see a team that's really never been in the top 10. It's been since back in the early 60s was the last time they were ranked in the top 10. They got a great quarterback in Diego Pava, who right now I would make him odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy.
Really?
And yes, he's great to watch. He really is an exciting player.
And by the way, Sid, isn't it great that somebody comes out of nowhere like Vanderbilt? I mean, a storied program, no doubt, but they've never been big winners, and they come out of nowhere in the midst of the transfer portal and NIL debacle in NCAA.
Yep. Yeah, it's true, Bob, because they were always the doormat of the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since they've had a team this successful. But they are getting 2.5 points at Texas who I think is the biggest disappointment of the year. Why they were ever ranked number one at the beginning of the year, I can't figure that out. But I'll take Vandy plus the 2.5 to continue their winning streak and maybe climb farther up the ratings, depending on who in front of them, if anybody gets beat. So
Wow.
we'll go from there.
All right, so that's your college game that you're looking at. Let's go to Sunday. Let's go to the pros Sunday, Monday.
Sunday. I love Detroit -8 over Minnesota. Minnesota right now is playing without a quarterback. McCarthy, who knows when he's coming back. Carson Wentz is out. Detroit's cooking on all cylinders offensively. They're starting to get a little bit more healthier on defense, and I'll take Detroit -8 against Minnesota.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay, the other one will be my upset deal of the day. Houston versus Denver. Denver's in a little bit of a winning streak. Houston is a lot better than the 2-5 record shows. I'm going to take Houston at home, and they're a home underdog. They're a 1.5 point underdog against Denver. I'm going to take Houston over Denver.
Wow. Okay. What else we got? What else?
The other one is Indianapolis. Again, the hottest team in the league right now, Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor might be on his way to being the first running back to win the MVP award in a long, long time. They're -3 at Pittsburgh. The Steelers are the Steelers right now, and there's a problem defensively for them. If you watched the game last Sunday night, they had a very difficult time stopping anybody this year. So I'm going to take Indy to continue their winning streak over Pittsburgh.
What are they giving or getting, Indiana?
Oh, I'm sorry. Indy is a -3.
Okay.
They're a 3-point favorite.
All right.
And then the big game on Sunday night with Kansas City versus Buffalo. I've been burned enough times by Buffalo against Kansas City. Yeah, believe me. I'm going the other way this time. I'm going to take Kansas City, who's a 1.5 favorite at Buffalo. I think Mahomes rips apart that Buffalo defense. They won last week, but the teams that they've played lately haven't really been that good offensively, and they're giving them quite a few points. So I'll take Kansas City, who seems entirely healthy right now. And Mahomes is having a great year.
I was actually going to ask you about Kansas City. When I didn't watch them, but I saw what they did last week. I said, man, they are firing on all cylinders. It's the old KC.
Yeah, it's the old KC in a conference that the NFC, I think, is stronger. They're at full strength right now, and that's bad news for everybody else. And what else can we say about Mahomes? They said once before, we're staring greatness in the face.
He's a winner.
It's just he's a winner, and I think we start to take it for granted. But I'm going to go with KC -1.5 against Buffalo.
Okay, and is that any other picks?
No, that's it for the week, Bob. That should do it.
All right. How was your record? Were you when you weren't with us the last couple of weeks? Did you have games? How are you doing?
I was undefeated, Bob.
He's intrepid and always honest when he's defeated.
Well, I'll tell you what, the one thing I wanted to bring up if I was on last week, I love the Toronto Blue Jays at the beginning of this World Series, so I'm one game away from having that come true. So,
and that's a surprise. Yeah. I had forgotten. I was sort of L.A. because I lived there. And then somebody brought up, and I'm not to bring politics in, all the crazy nonsense that the LA Dodgers promote, and I said, nah, I can't go for them. I'm done.
No, you can't. But here's a great stat for you. They have 24 base hits since the last game against Milwaukee with 2 strikes. That's winning baseball. 24 run-scoring hits with 2 strikes.
Fascinating.
Think about it.
Fascinating.
Yes, it is. That's great hitting. That's great baseball. And hopefully, I don't know, with the pitcher that they have going, the Dodgers are tough with this kid, that Yokohama or whatever his name is, but he's a good one. So we'll see what happens.
Sid, but you're saying, hey, they could wrap this whole thing up in the next game. Now they're going home.
Yeah, they could end it.
I've actually watched more of the World Series than I thought I would. I didn't see any of the 18 inning game. Did you see that game?
18 innings. I took it till 12:30, and I said, that's it. That's it. Because it wasn't going anywhere. They left so many men on base, especially Toronto. Toronto had a chance to win that more than once. So, but great game.
Is there a regular season thing in baseball where the guy starts at second, so they put somebody on second in the extra innings?
Not in the playoffs.
Yeah, so they got rid of that for the playoffs. How about that?
Right, they got rid of that in the playoffs, and it's old-time baseball the way it should be.
One of the things I thought about was
just leave it right there.
Said that they stopped selling beer in the 7th inning, and the game goes 18.
Well, I'll tell you what, they made a lot of money that night, buddy.
But they stopped selling beer. The guys had a hangover by the end of the game. All right, well, so we got Toronto. Sid's staying with his deal for the World Series. Vandy on Saturday, Detroit, Houston, Indy, KC. Sid, off topic because we got a couple seconds left. Penn State, Ohio State tomorrow.
Well, I told you once before, if I took Penn State again to punch me in the face, and I don't feel like having it punch me in the face, Bob.
How bad's it going to be tomorrow?
One of your old buddies just walked in here, Ritter Zangardi.
Oh, Ritter. Love him.
Ritter. People don't know he invented the sky hook at St. Anthony's before Jabbar did. So he's the original sky hook.
We thought he was Wes Unseld. Yeah. Well, Sid, thanks very much. Sid Hallinan, Weekend Warrior.
Yeah, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby.
He's there, baby. And make sure you're with us every week. We can't miss this. Yeah, this is your time slot. All right.
Well, we're all straightened out now. So.
All right, Sid.
All right, Bob. I'll talk to you.
Have a great weekend. The Weekend Warrior will be back. baby. Murph says this date, 1965, Fontella Bass had the number one R&B hit with Rescue Me. And the Bulldog pulled up the history, 1938, this date. A radio broadcast of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, narrated by the great Orson Welles, allegedly caused a mass panic. Well, they say allegedly because they ran with it. The producers and all of that, they ran with it because they wanted to cause a mass. They wanted attention to their radio broadcast. And it became a good movie. And I think the Tom Cruise version was pretty good, too. By the way, somebody points out Penn State is Saturday, not tomorrow. I forget my days. Yeah, I forget my days. Slick says, Bob LTS, surprised he didn't pick the Eagles even though they're on a bye week. And here's a nice one. Bob, I was at the VA in Wilkes-Barre today when a veteran passed away. The call went out for an escort. My nurse stopped everything to pay respects. Great job, Wilkes-Barre VA, from Army Trucker. Thanks, Army Trucker. Happy to obviously not happy that we lost another veteran, but how great is it that they get it at the VA? Because, they're treating all veterans, and they could lose sight of it. And we know that the Veterans Administration lost sight of who they were taking care of and had to be straightened out and totally reorganized. So that's great to hear. Thanks, Army Trucker. Rich McHale says he loved the interview with the United Way people. I was a weekly donor for 38 years, meaning you let it come out of your paycheck for the duration of my FedEx career. With the upcoming holiday season, let's also mention other entities like St. Jude, the Shriners, and Tunnel to Towers, my personal favorites. And they are. And they've got, I see their commercials all the time on the cable. Thank you, Rich. Yeah, United Ways, they're great. They really are. And it's important that we remember, because sometimes you're doing well and you forget that others aren't. And because of the wide and diverse number of charities that United Way works with, there's always somebody in need. And that's what they do. So that's great stuff. Hey, a joint statement came from Commissioners Sacco and Chermak. And I got this provided me by Mr. Paul here. This is Lackawanna County Commissioners Brenda Sacco, Chris Chermak have issued the following joint statement regarding the conduct of Commissioner Bill Gaughan. This is the Boy King during the recent Lackawanna County reorganization meeting. They say, in our view, the manner in which the recent reorganization meeting was conducted under Commissioner Gaughan's leadership was vindictive, juvenile, dishonest, and responsible. Well, that describes his reign as county commissioner and city councilman to a T. They continue. The behavior of certain individuals whom he brought into yesterday's meeting and appeared to encourage was disrespectful to both the county and to his fellow commissioners. Well, that's who he is. So why would you expect his supporters to be any different? Commissioner Gaughan permitted members of the public to disregard established rules previously enforced by him regarding public comment, including time limits and the requirement that remarks remain relevant to agenda items. This failure to uphold well-established procedures undermined the integrity of the meeting and reflected poorly on the leadership of the Board of Commissioners. Such conduct by Commissioner Gaughan demonstrates a willingness to bend or ignore established rules for personal gain or political gain rather than to uphold the standards of fairness, consistency, and respect for the institution. This conduct erodes public trust. Yes, it does. He's eroded public trust. Gaughan has done it with his entire reign of error as county commissioner, as the Boy King. His running mate, Matt McGloin, couldn't get out of there fast enough. Commissioner Sacco and Chermak reaffirmed their dedication to transparent, respectful, and responsible governance and to working collaboratively in the best interest of the residents of Lackawanna County. Okay, they said it right. By the way, in the in the front page of the paper, this paper is so disgraceful you can't make it up. So, city traffic plan gets green light. So Mayor Cognetti's $30 million bike paths and stop signs plan. It got approved. And isn't it appropriate that her mouthpiece, the Scranton Times, is a day late in reporting it? I mean, just how bad can a newspaper be? Seriously, how bad can you be? This is literally yesterday's news, which they used to reserve for the Hazleton Standard speaker. But now they show and are trying to weigh in on the commissioner's race. Senator Flynn committee contributed $100,000 to Welby's campaign. Okay. Is that a headline? Does that mean something? No, see, they're up for Cappellini because Cappellini, Gahan, and the newspaper are left-wing lunatics. And so they want a left-wing lunatic in there to match up with their left-wing lunatic, the boy King. And so they're trying to undermine Tom Welby. Now, my guy's Chet Murley. It's like pox on all your houses. You Democrats have been having this fight, making fools of yourself and doing a huge disservice to the county. We're going to elect Chet Murley. And that's what I hope and pray the people do. And then finally, the Citizen's Voice. The Times leader covered this yesterday. This Fat Cat campaign mailer. And Sue Henry said she had Brian Thornton, council vice chairman, on. 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans facing each other November 4th. And this lie-filled, disgraceful attack flyer by the Democrats in the race. And once again, the rags are a day behind. All credit to Michael Buffer, well-written article. Where were you yesterday, Times leader or Citizen's Voice? Wow. They're that bad and they're making no complaint. They're not even defending themselves anymore. Wow. I got an automatic text message, but they are pulling out all the stops for these horrible Supreme Court justices in Pennsylvania. We got a text message. This is on the radio station's text line. Oh, Lord. Oh, no, I'm sorry. One of our listeners did, and they forwarded it to me. And they've got a massive text going out for the horrible lunatic, left-wing lunatic, law-breaking Supreme Court justices. And these are the people we are against here. You vote no on Wecht, Donahue, and Doherty. They're for the privileged. They're for the wealthy. They're for the left-wing lunatics. And they don't care about the law, not one whit. Somebody said, Bob, I want you to go to the Halloween party. I've got 2 of them to go to now. As a talk radio Zorro with a hat, black cape, black eye mask, and wear a black T-shirt with white letters on it saying, truth, common sense over woke lies. A long plastic sword with a microphone as a handle. The costume's easy to make and serve you and the public well. You know, I might have to pass that off on Cutie. I just might and say, Cutie, let's get this done. Good suggestion. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. our veterans this hour and every hour honored by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. As you head to the weekend, you know you got great places to go, and there's a lot of choices. But if you know you're going to get quality service, the whole package at Basiliga Hospitality. Bar restaurants, the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, the Far Street Tavern, and the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. Fine dining, yeah, we got that too. Understated, modern Manhattan, a Terra 519. Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. And tonight, they'll be open. Sergei's, the nightclub, the best in nightlife. Basiliga Hospitality. Andy Simonik. We lost him October 26th. He was just 78. He was from Scott Township. His wife is the former Carlene McGee Simonik. The couple have been married for 37 years. He was born in Bedford, Ohio. He served us as a member of the United States Army Reserves for 6 years before becoming a skilled member of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. There he mastered his trade with West Side Painting until he retired at the age of 55. Well, he wasn't done yet, because shortly after he found his true calling as a stonemason, which he was still actively practicing until his passing. He loved life. He loved Lakeland, the high school, the school district, the sports. He loved spending time with his wife, son, daughter-in-law, granddaughters, who promoted him to the title of Papa. Surviving his son, his son's wife, their daughters, his sister, sisters, and many other family members. Andy Simonik. Our veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Oh, that means the weather. Let's get the weather sheet out here. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, cloudy with rain, heavy at times. He's expecting between 1 to 2 inches in the region. High of 57. It's 52 outside the studio as I speak to you. Tonight, clouds with rain tapering off down to 47. Friday, Halloween, cloudy and windy, chance of showers, 50 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, 53. Sunday, partly sunny, 55. So I guess sort of where we expect things to be. Well, the Pennsylvanians for Human Life, they've got their annual breakfast, which is, I've got to tell you, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's some of the greatest people you will ever be with. And Cindy Cox from Pennsylvanians for Human Life, she is with us. Cindy, welcome back. Tell us about this event Saturday morning. It really is a highlight of the year for so many.
Oh, Bob, we're so excited. This is the first year that I've been involved. This is my fourth breakfast that we have sold so many tickets ahead of time. We're almost reaching capacity. So I'm so blessed and thrilled that so many people are coming and stepping up. It's this Saturday at 9 a.m. at Fiorelli's in Pecksville. We definitely still have some tickets available. We would love to see all of your listeners there. We have Bobby Schindler of the Terry Schiavo Life and Hope Network. He's our featured speaker. But this year, we're doing it a little bit differently. We have 5 different members of the clergy taking each one of our 5 pillars and doing a brief prayer over them. Since we are supporting life from conception to natural death, we're covering 5 areas, and we're so honored that we're blessed by all of these different clergymen to come and pray with us. It's going to be a great event.
And it always is. And the sweetest people on the planet will be there. That's the one thing that's certain.
Oh my gosh, you are not kidding. And a lot of our partners are coming. So, like Providence Pregnancy Center will be there, Options Women's Center will be there, Keystone Family Alliance. There is Pennsylvania Inclusive. We have some wonderful partners in all different areas of service that are going to be joining us. And we're so thrilled that they'll be there with their materials as well.
How neat.
Yes.
What do you want people to know about Pennsylvanians for Human Life and the Scranton chapter?
So we have been working to defend life for 51 years. We are the oldest chapter in Pennsylvania, and we're so honored to be fighting this fight for all of these years. As I mentioned, we're not only working legislatively, but we're really trying to educate our community, especially our younger students, on what the dignity of life means. We are working with the diocese to get back into the schools. I personally visit with Marywood and the University of Scranton and attend some of their pro-life club meetings. We have some of our doctors. We just did, in fact, there's one tonight. We're doing a presentation tonight with one of the colleges on end-of-life issues. And to work with these kids is so refreshing because they are passionate and they're their future. And we get to walk alongside them and help them understand what this means.
Well, and I tell people, and I've told your group when I've spoken to them years ago, and recently, that saving a life is a big deal. And what you're doing is saving lives. So if you can convince one person, because we're not going to change the law, as long as Governor Shapiro's there, no meaningful brakes will be placed upon abortion in Pennsylvania. It's just what is. No matter how many lies they tell you when they're running for office, nothing will happen as long as he's governor. Now, and that's sad, but everyone you can convince to save a life. Providence Pregnancy Center now, the new kid on the block, but a great resource. They're showing people that there's another way to go, and we've got help for you there.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. With their new maternity home and the work that they're doing there, and not only are they just providing a safe space for the moms with their kids that they already have, which, again, is a unique thing because most pregnancy shelters don't allow you to bring your other kids, but they do. They're also educating them, teaching them skills, bringing speakers in to walk alongside them and give them a new start and new hope. So it's incredible what they're doing.
Amazing. So Saturday at Fiorelli's, 9 a.m., Pennsylvanians for Human Life, the annual breakfast. It is a beautiful event. Thank you for coming on again to talk to us about it. I appreciate it.
Oh, listen, they can call our office if they want ahead of time tickets, or they can buy them right at the door. Doors open at 8 because we have lots of raffle baskets. We learned that from Jessica Frayne at Providence Pregnancy Center, by the way. So they can call us at 570-343-5099 or go to our website at humanlifepa.org.
Nice. Your friend R.W. says he'll be there supporting you. So
love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you so much, Bob. Thanks for all you do for us.
Thank you, Cindy. Thanks for all you do for the unborn. Appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Marvin Gaye, he released his hit, I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Murph tells us this date, 1968. Bob Cordaro back with you. Mr. Paul, my executive producer, pointing out that I keep saying tomorrow when I'm referencing Saturday. I don't know how. You know what? I get something in the pea brain, it just keeps coming out. I don't know why, but sorry. The good thing is you guys know the difference between your days, even though I do not. Somebody texts in, as far as the Supreme Court justices go, the ones who are going to all vote no, you just need to remember what they did during COVID and during the 2020 election cycle, just making up the rules as they went. These judges are criminal. They're awful. Absolutely awful. No doubt about it. My man Mark Mayer tells me, he says, a friend who attended the University of Scranton, Richie Flathead Brock. He's only 66. He met his wife Leanne at U of S. He also met many legends at Scanlon's back in the day, including Mike Munchak's fist. And the poor guy's having quadruple bypass surgery today in New Jersey. Prayers to him. Prayers to Flathead Brock. Thanks for pointing that out to us, my man. Appreciate it, Mark Mayer. Yeah. My man Tommy E checking in. Just a joke, and it's an inside. It's going to have to remain an inside joke. One of our great listeners pointing this truth out back to the cook from Dunmore, who the ICE guys pulled off. Said anybody who misses a hearing gets a warrant for arrest, no matter the charges. Period. So they were exercising a warrant. It's what is. Let's go to Jim from Harding. Jim, how are you?
Pretty good. I got three real quick ones here. One is like this Brandon Sanderson. He had one character in his book that once defined the fool as a person that ignored information because it disagreed with their desired results and all.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is like, I heard you talk about what to go dressed up as for Halloween. I got a good costume for you.
I'm sure you do.
You got one of those old beach balls that used to blow up?
Yeah.
Well, you know where to stand. You cut an inch out, tape it in the back of your neck, and go up as a blow-up doll.
Well, yeah, but I'm pre-blown up.
Yeah. And then one more thing there, I was listening to Bloomberg on the radio here, and they're saying about how they're getting rid of the cents, the penny. You know what I give credit to? The Democrats, because they have no sense.
Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
You'll have a good Halloween, and if I ever see it floating around, just deflate that valve in your neck.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
All right, man. Let's go to Bob Bolas. Bob, how are you? Bob, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I'm hanging in there, brother.
All right, man. What's up?
It's just funny with, Gahan going to No King's protest, him and Cappellini, yet the two of them are unhinged because they're acting like they're kings in Lackawanna County.
I know it.
He's
acting. Gahan, the boy king, Billy Gahan, he acts on his own illegally as a commissioner and then accuses Trump of being a king. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, I took the Pelosi as a Centurion temp on Tim trailer with Harris and Hillary down there to the last one. And I parked it right across from their podium when they were speaking. And Cappellini was totally unhinged. I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, this guy needs a straitjacket rather than just coming here as a commissioner. But there's a meeting here in Dunmore today at 2 o'clock on the budget. And see what the little boy king wants to play. Remember, when he was in Scranton as the council president, I put his head on the body of a skunk because he skunked us and it's on the trailer. And I was considering taking the trailer down to Troop today. so he could remember who he really is and what he's done to the people.
Well,
Putting all that to the
Bob,
side-
I didn't get a chance to take issue with you because you surprised me last week. I don't want you running a write-in campaign for mayor. We got to get this mayor out. We can't have votes being diverted.
Unfortunately, what I did is the reason I ran a write-in is that when the Charlie Spano, the writer that they led, in
I
the
know
Republican
you told me all
Party.
that. That is, but
Okay.
every vote that Gene Barrett doesn't get, for example, is a vote that will save the existing mayor who has been horrendous.
Right, I'm with you, Bob. Nobody knows more about her than I do. And what I've done, I've ran for mayor in the city, and I got screwed on the ballot because the Republican Party allowed the Rhino to take me off the ballot.
I know that, Bob. Bob, I
illegally.
know that, Bob. But
Well,
don't
screwed 'em
be
right now because
don't be promoting your candidate for mayor. I'm against you on this, 100%. You can't.
Yeah,
we
well-
can't be diverting votes that would go against Mayor Many Names and give her a better chance of winning. Can't.
Well, I don't believe that what we got running can beat her, to be very honest with you, even though I want to see her damn gone.
Well, if people don't vote,
said
and
if
I'm
I
a
ran-
Republican, but if people don't vote for the Republican, the Democrat, Gene Barrett, can win. The Independent.
Yeah, he's the last one I want to see sitting in as a mayor.
Yeah, see, and we
Believe
disagree
me.
100%
You and
on
I
that.
know that.
But
You know, the people.
But Bob,
gotta
don't do it.
understand
Don't do it. We got to go, but don't give another vote, including your own, to this mayor, and that's what you'll end up doing by running for mayor. Keep up the good fight on all the other fronts, though, my friend. Time for the news. The Picardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 11:01 and change, means we're late, but we'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo's Jeweler watch tells me it's 11:09 and change here in the great Northeast. This beautiful but rainy Thursday, October 30th, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we lost this year but celebrate today thanks to John. Francis, Ponce, Serace, Mayfield, Andrew, Andy Simonik, Scott Township, and Richard Andruzzi, Trescow. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order, this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Promising you that our commitment to common sense will provide you with a sanctuary of sanity in a world that's gone mad. In a world where they're carrying on about the free ballroom the taxpayers will be getting at the White House instead of the amazing trade deals that Donald Trump has been managing throughout the world. Oh, and the peace agreements as well. Somebody said the power is out in the Dutch Hollow section of the south side of Scranton. Where's PPL when you need them? Well, I had blinking lights this morning, even though there wasn't any heavy wind. I don't know, interesting. And by the way, it brings me back to our DPW guys. They were out there today for us. Crappy weather, in the dark, getting the job done. So thank you. I do it normally at 9 o'clock hour, but it came to mind again this hour because they were out there like doing hard work in crappy weather. By the way, somebody says, don't know if you saw the horrible ad against Brasnahan in today's newspaper. Let's see. Let us go to the newspaper quickly. By the way, this Mamdani, he gets worse, and his father is a sickening disgrace. Some kind of, what is he, these are disgusting people. Absolutely disgusting people. And they want to get him elected, and he may get elected. In fact, most likely will. Unreal. All right, so here it is. A group called Paid for Unrig Our Economy. President Trump and Republicans' tariffs are taking a bite out of our Halloween candy. The price of a bag of candy increased by more than 16% this year. Tell him high tariffs are gobbling up our budgets. It's the typical liars. The typical lying. That's what they do. And they completely reorient from a plane of normality to a plane of insanity to make their arguments. Like we had this, an illegal alien taken out of a place of business yesterday in Dunmore. And the mayor, who I'm guessing, I like him, he's a nice guy, great family. I'm guessing he's a left-wing loon. Number one, because Commissioner Gaughan, the boy king, chose him to be his running mate early on. And this nonsense. And I don't often go on Facebook, but somebody directed me to do it. You know, that something goofy was on Facebook. And I looked and I saw a post by the mayor. and said, I'm disgusted by what I'm hearing about ICE in Dunmore this morning. Well, what? About what? You know what I mean? And I understand you can't get your full message across on Facebook. I get that. But he continues, I'm on the phone right now trying to get real answers. This is not something we'll accept here in Dunmore. Well, who are you? Number one, who are you? You're barely in charge of the cops. So I wrote back on Facebook. I seldom post on Facebook. It gets silly. And I said, so you're saying that the presence of duly appointed and properly trained federal law enforcement in my hometown is a problem, and you are disgusted without even knowing why they are there and who they are protecting us and the people of Dunmore from. I hope you understand how ridiculous you sound. Like, how do we get this totally reversed? How do illegal aliens get first dibs in this country? I don't get it. And we need immigration. And we need them to be assimilated into this country and its culture. And in that respect, they will add to the culture. It's a great thing. It actually makes our country better than everybody else. Legal immigration and assimilation. And they were very brave to get here. And they're 95 or more percent under proper circumstances would be a great addition to this country. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not understanding. There's a problem with federal law enforcement enforcing federal law. And as it turns out, sadly, the guy missed. He missed his hearing. Now, so what were federal law enforcement to do? He misses his hearing. And I feel sorry for him. Okay. Maybe he was, I have no idea. Maybe he didn't want to tell his boss I'm illegal and I've got to go to an immigration hearing. Well, he didn't. And he didn't attend. And now he's incarcerated. What part of that is wrong from the federal government standpoint? And by the way, the same people carrying on had nothing to say when 10 to 20 million illegal aliens came in here, unvetted, unvaccinated, untested during COVID. They didn't care about that either. So what am I going to? How do you have a sensible discussion when that's your position? That federal law enforcement is disgusting when they enforce the law. Somebody said this is so true. In the old days, people wanted to become Americans. Now they just want to come to America. Very different. And I want to point out to you, there's a study that was done with this, and it's very timely. Food stamps. Okay, that's SNAP that they're all talking about, cut off Saturday. Now, here's presented the percentage of people of various ethnicities, various national backgrounds that are on food stamps. 45.6% of Afghanis. 42.4% of Somalis. 34.8% of Iraqis. 23.3% of Haitians. They're on food stamps. Now you know what that means, obviously. Native Americans get less. And they are not carrying their weight, these immigrants, illegal and otherwise. And governors like ours, Shapiro, are not auditing their programs, Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP, to make sure that illegals aren't receiving. So the numbers are actually even worse. Please remember that. Luciano, you've been beyond patient. We only have about a minute, but fire away, friend.
Let me say this. I listened to a conservative talk show host just on Sunday. He comes on. He's an immigration lawyer. He's a conservative. He says anybody that dilutes the modern day liberal attorneys that represent illegals, they distort and pervert the Bible. It's a crime. I repeat, it's a crime. And I've called him and talked to him twice. It's a crime to work with fake Social Security cards, fake IDs that you can get in New York and Philadelphia and Chicago. It's a felony. It's not a misdemeanor. And two, he stated, and it's documented, that they bring in 37 billion they brought in last year. You know what they take away? They take away from the American taxpayers 185,000. But Bob, more importantly, we have American citizens in jail for felony, for identity theft. It is a crime. Most of them are working Latin Kings, Latin Brown Brothers of Soul. They get you a Social Security card. They can get you a fake ID. I wouldn't do it, but I know where in 7th and Susquehanna, 18th and Girard Avenue, where you can get a Social Security and picture ID for about $1,500. And that's how.
Luciano, we have it in Dunmore. We have it in Dunmore. We have it in Dunmore, the guy I'm talking about. God bless him. Good guy. Everybody loved him. Child in Dunmore schools. He had to have had a Social Security number to be working.
Brother, fake. You can get it, like I told you. You can get it in 9th and Susquehanna. You can buy the fake social picture ID nowadays with modern technology. It's extremely easy. And the media, the liberal, radical, socialist, communist media is not telling you this. Bob, I'm a Latino. I've been around Chicanos. I've been around people that gotten fake Social Security pictures, IDs in Philadelphia. You can get it. If the money's right, you can get it. And the employers, they turn their backs. They consciously do not check out if it's a fake Social Security picture. These employers need to be arrested. Just like in Mexico, at this present time, Mexico is deporting everyone and anyone from Central and South America, and they're deporting them right at this moment. And we are such wimps, such cowards, and we need to enforce our democracy. Hey, Bob, you were in jail, brother, right? And you had children. And you had children in this country. Well, American citizens are in jail for identity theft. Why can't it be held to the migrants, illegals, brother?
Well, look, I have compassion for them as I have compassion
when it comes to immigration.
No, I have compassion for them as people, but that does not entitle them to be here. It just doesn't. My compassion doesn't make it legal. Your compassion doesn't make it legal. The left's compassion doesn't make them legal. It's what
the Constitution does. Immigration law does, like this conservative immigration law that comes on Kansas City on Sundays. He's a conservative. He says the liberal immigration lawyers pervert and distort the Constitution when it comes to undocumented migrants.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you, Luciano. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll return. Murph tells us Cat Stevens, before he went loony, this date, 1971, of the number one easy listening charts, hit with that great song, Peace Train. And 1974, this date, Muhammad Ali knocked out George Foreman, 8th round of a 15-round bout in Kinshasa, Zaire. The Rumble in the Jungle. And, you know, I did not believe that it happened. Foreman said, well, I got drunk, you know, this kind of thing. I thought, no way. Until I saw Foreman fight, I think he fought 5 guys, but he had a fight after that. And he ran out of gas. And I said, that's exactly what Ali did to him. And George turned out to be a great, great guy. He found religion. He found God. He found Jesus. Became a preacher, then came back as a fighter. And much, much beloved. Let's go to Bill from Pittston. Hi, Bill. How are you?
Doing good, Bob. About a year ago, September 24, I called you and I said that I told Dave McCormick and Rob Bresnahan that they should look into making education on the Holocaust mandatory in our Commonwealth. They both thought it was good ideas, but of course they had to get elected first. And yesterday I called Rob, I called Dave, and I called Fetterman and Dan Muser saying that same thing, especially in light of the situation in Virginia at that high school where the Muslims wanted their own little clubs to start up anti-Semitism. And I still think it's a good idea. Rob seemed interested. His aide said he was going to call me either yesterday or today sometime to discuss it. But I really think it's good because it's going to put people like Mandami back on there. Even if it incites these guys to get involved with a dialogue, it's going to put the Republicans in a chance to go on the attack and point out many of the deficiencies of the Democrats.
Well, our history, our history and civics are either not good or they are non-existent in the curriculum today because the wokesters have taken over the Pennsylvania Department of Education. They've taken over important institutions like the education department at Penn State. And you've got to overcome that. But yeah, maybe a federal law is the way to go. It may be the only way to go, by the way.
Yeah, it's so sad because it's only going to get worse, and it is getting worse. Where you have these poor Jewish kids afraid to even go to school, and somebody's going to get seriously hurt or murdered. And if we have to stand to teach these kids because, you know, you bring it up. When I'm teaching class at church, I ask the kids about the Holocaust. They don't have a clue. And so I'm trying to educate them myself. But I really do think it's time for a federal law that it should be mandatory and, you know, at least get these kids up to snuff and learning about how cruel certain people that are trying to take over this country really are.
I don't disagree. I like it, Bill. Keep plugging. Keep us up to date. And I'll ask them myself. All right?
Good.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back with our Veterans Tribute, the weather, and then back to the phones. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. And just today we feature just one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality. Well, it's Thursday. That means if you're going to do a pre-weekend deal, you want to go to a bar restaurant, check out the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, Far Street Tavern in West Side, Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. You want fine dining? We got it. A Terra 519, downtown Scranton. The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. Movie? Oh, yeah. Scranton Art House, voted the best movie house in Northeast PA. You want nightlife? Why not go to the best nightclub? They're open tonight. Sergei's, no cover. Richard Andruzzi. He was 85 when we lost him October 22nd. His family quotes John 3:16 in his obit. Born in Hazleton, 1957, graduate of Hazleton High School. He enlisted in the United States Army. He was an E-5 machinist with an overseas tour of duty in Germany. When he came back, he was hired by Kowecki Barilko Industries as an A-class machinist. When they closed, he worked for Bethlehem Steel. He later opened his own business, Plum World in Bloomsburg. Plum World was later bought out by APR Supply, and Richard was the branch manager for several years. He married the love of his life, Andrea Kokinda, back in 1965. They shared 60 glorious years together, never walking along without holding hands. They built a life and a family together that they truly cherished, especially their 4 boys. Rich Andruzzi was always up for an adventure. They called his fishing boat the SS Whitecaps. He wore flannel shirts daily and spent most of his life in Tresckow, taking great pride in that community. He took a part in the placing of the memorials for Arthur Gardner and Junedale. Well, for Arthur Gardner in Tresckow and Junedale. Survived by his loving wife, Andrea Andruzzi, those 4 sons, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, and many other family members. Richard Andruzzi. Our great veterans, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast for meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, cloudy with rain, heavy at times, between 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, high 57. Tonight, clouds with rain tapering off, 47. Halloween, Friday, cloudy and windy with a chance of showers, 50. Saturday, partly sunny, 53. Sunday, partly sunny, 55 degrees. All right, we're back. Somebody texted in, the Democrat Party is no longer a party for America or American traditional values. The Democrat Party does everything to hurt America, such as open borders, supporting the illegal criminals over law enforcement, and ICE, transgender ideology on innocent children instead of a normal God and country patriotism education, current government shutdown, all things that the Democrats do is hurt the American people. Few would disagree. Well, more than we would like, because you're pretty much on. You're pretty much on. Somebody asked, who's checking on Marty Flynn's political committee donations of $100,000 to Tom Welby? What is to check on? Seriously. Marty supports him. He's got money in his can. I mean, I don't see anything nefarious. I see a left-wing lunatic newspaper that supports lunatic Bill Gaughan and lunatic Paige Cognetti trying to make something out of it. That's what I see. He's got a campaign committee. The campaign committee can make donations. They made a substantial one. Now, factor that into your vote. Because remember what this is. This is a battle between Marty Flynn and Billy Gaughan, the Boy King, and his faction, which includes the Nealons, the Caseys, all that gang, the mayor, all the left-wingers, and who's going to prevail in the party. That's why you vote for Chet Murley. Pox on both their houses. We're not going to figure out who's good, bad, and different. We need change. Period. Well, let's go to Sean McAndrew. He is a candidate for Scranton City Council. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hey, Bob. How are you today? Thanks for having me on.
Doing great. Fire away, my man.
Yeah, I just wanted to, call in to kind of talk about why I'm running for city council.
Please do. Please do.
The last 5 years I've been on the school board. When I first got on the school board, the district was in disarray. We had a financial recovery officer here. We are now out of financial debt. We're in the monitoring phase. We have a $30 million fund balance. Is probably the biggest fund balance the district has in the last 20 years.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's helping us right now with the budget not passing. We're in a good spot other than some of these other districts. One of the most concerning things when I first got on the school board, there wasn't any safety features. I walked into classrooms with no phones, no PA systems, no clocks, no cameras. We've fixed all that. We make sure every classroom has a phone. They have a working PA system. We have armed guards now because, unfortunately, that's the reality of the world we live in today. So we made our schools safer because if at any level of government, whether you're the national, state, or local, safety's first. You can't have a strong community if you're not safe. And those accomplishments and also fighting to not raise taxes and, not being a rubber stamp or not just saying yes to the administration or the state when the state recovery officer and the governor's office wanted us to close schools and raise taxes. I fought against all that. I feel like I always want to leave somewhere better than, when I got there. And I feel like I'm doing that in the school district. And now I just want to shift my focus to the city because, crime is ticking up. The Pennsylvania State Police, if you saw the stats, the numbers of the crime increasing in Scranton, that's scary. I want to make sure our police officers and all of our first responders have the resources they need to protect us, but also protect themselves when they're out there risking their lives for us every day and they come home to their family safe. And also the finances. I mean, it's hard for people to live here. We want people to come in here, to move here, raise their families, but we also want people to stay here. And I think, especially for the 65 and older, I've been pushing, on my campaign that we need to look at some tax rebates for them because, they're hit with, inflation and they're on, they have budgets that, budget constraints and they're,
Well, if you get in there, I want you to stop this fool $30 million project that Mayor Many Names has started, which is going to put in stop signs and bike lanes. We can't afford it, and it's insane.
Well, I think the focus has to go back to the neighborhoods, right? The downtown is beautiful, and that's because of the developers. They have done a great job with making downtown amazing. Whether you're going down there to shop or you're going down there for dinner, we have to start talking and focusing more on the neighborhoods. When I was knocking on doors, that's what people are talking about. That's what they want to address. They want the roads paved. They want the blighted property that's next to their house or up the street taken care of. Some of these properties have been sitting there for 5 to 7 years, and the can just keeps getting kicked down the road. And that's my focus. We have to bring it back to the basics. We have to make sure we're safe. We have to make sure we're getting our services. And that's what I'm going to do. And I feel like we need more strong voices on city council and not just rubber stamps. There's a lot of things that are happening that people don't even know about. I mean, look at the council president and the mayor put increases for both of their salaries. The council president put an increase for 44% for his salary, and raised taxes throughout his tenure. So you can't be doing that when you're raising taxes. You have to focus on how we help our community and fix these neighborhoods. And I want to be a strong voice to push back on that and compromise when needed too. I mean, we all have to come together no matter what party. We're all Scrantonians. We have to work together and make this a place that people want to stay, but also people want to move into and raise their families. And,
Amen.
And I think that'll go a long way.
Well, thank you, Sean McAndrew. Good luck on your campaign. You got a big weekend ahead, obviously. So stay safe, stay strong on the campaign trail. Thanks for calling in.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All
Bye.
right, my friend. Sean McAndrew, candidate for City Council, City of Scranton. And that's pretty good. he touched all the bases, that's for sure. Hey, we got another candidate calling in, our man Chet Murley, our candidate for Lackawanna County Commissioner. Chet, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for taking my call, Robert. You are right on the message today. And to reinforce it, I received phone calls from the local paper and two television stations. And it's almost like a surprise that they uncovered something that everybody's been talking about for a long time. I do understand it makes news, but my quote in the paper is basically what you have been saying. The taxpayers are going to be the losers and are the losers while this party continually fights. It's like those old movie and comedy shows where there's two boxers in the ring and they're punching each other and they end up both knocking each other out.
Yeah.
That's what we have to hope for, that they do knock each other out and we get a new majority in there, and one that's willing to really put some emphasis on this budget.
It is so important that we end this infighting by electing you. Nothing good is going to come out of this insanity. Nothing good is going to come out of having Bill Gaughan continue in the majority or return to the majority. Nothing.
Agreed.
And now, and I don't take much for it. I mean, we know Tom Welby's Marty Flynn's candidate, period. There's no doubt about it. It seems excessive, $100,000, but it's not nefarious. But now we know who is behind it and who's going to pull the strings. Chet Murley, we know he's going to pull his own strings. That's pretty important to know.
As I've been making the rounds, and we've been going out every night, you know what that's like. It could be exhausting. 90% of the people, it's taxes and it's reassessment, and what can you do for us?
Yeah.
And that's the message. And we're going to address that.
I like it, Chet. I think you and Chris will work together very well. It took a long time, and you're a thinker. You act deliberately. I've known you a long time, and you approach running for office the same way. And now you did it when you were ready to actually perform the duties that people need to have performed.
I don't think I've seen the county this bad in 20 years.
No, it really hasn't been. And Chet, I wish you Godspeed on the campaign trail. You got to win. You have to help us and win. You really do.
Good. Thanks for taking my call.
Always. Chet Murley, our candidate for Lackawanna County Commissioner. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. WLO. This date, 1976, they were moving up the charts, Murph says, with their hit Living Thing. We're going to finish with the Beatles. Their number one hit this date in 1965, Yesterday, is the song we'll conclude with. Somebody texts in, Bob, they do need to get rid of median on Lackawanna Avenue. 500, I agree. 500 block empty because of no parking. But remember what this is going to do. It's going to, you take away the median, and then it's going to take away the parking anyway with the bike lanes. It's insane. But the listener continues, stop signs make a lot of sense on some streets like Penn. Close call. I don't know. And by the way, I had my own traffic plan for downtown Scranton. I presented to Jimmy McNulty about 45 years ago when he first won for mayor. And the listener says the bike lane just on Lackawanna Avenue would be enough, and the two-way around the square is a good idea. That I got to tell you this. I don't know, but I will take you over the $30 million plan and your advice over the $30 million plan of Mayor Many Dames any day. I'm open to this. I'm open to changes. I am not open to insanity so that she could go to a mayor's conference and so that she could run for Congress and say, look what I did. I did just what all the progressive cities did. And I mean that progressive pejoratively. But thank you. I can't disagree with the comments. All right, so Donald Trump coming back. I'm actually frightened to see the news coverage. It was a tour de force. He was nothing more than a colossus striding among the countries in the Far East. They paid inordinate amounts of respect for him, something Biden never got, something that Barack never got, something that Bush never got. It's really remarkable how they are reacting him because he's not afraid to hammer them if he has to. That's a big deal. It's important. So we'll see how the coverage goes and take it from there. But, yeah, so much going on as always. The government shutdown continues. The Israeli Palestinian, I'm not going to call him that, the Israeli and Gazan battle continues. The ceasefire is a partial myth. But what it did is it brought once again all of the Arab countries in agreement with Israel, which is the basis of Middle East peace, not these lunatics like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis, funded by Iran. Now, as it continues, Republicans have a tough choice here. As of now, the Democrats ain't changing. And they can change the rules so that the filibuster ends. Remember when the Democrats wanted to do it? I don't agree with it, but I understand if they want to get the government open and sickening Schumer continues his charade along with the left-wing lunatic Democrats he leads in the Senate. We're going to see. Oh, and the Louvre, the thieves at the Louvre caught. It isn't an important story in the scheme of things, but it's, I'm a Pink Panther fan. So I have some interest in it. Hey, guys, loved being with you today, of course. In any event, you guys, it's good to be with you. As always, you know that. Tomorrow we'll be back, God willing, to do it all again. And listen to you. That's for sure. Sue Henry show next. Rob O'Donnell show after that. But for now, I must say adios and gavel to a close this meeting of the Club for Common Sense. Have a great afternoon.